Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whether you're watching this one. This is my Miami Grand Prix review from the Miami Grand Prix this weekend, and obviously the sprint race. It was a sprint weekend as well, where we saw 3 race wins in a row for Oscar Piastri as he eases to victory in Miami, the championship leader, of course, and it's his 4th race win of the season as well. Maybe Maybe everyone predicted the one McLaren driver to win the Drivers' Championship because Oscar Piastri just done under the radar, hasn't he? Done under the radar, and yet Lando Norris have all the pressure put on him. So it all started off, didn't it? Obviously, lights out, away we go, and obviously Piastri, because it was obviously Verstappen and Norris, wasn't it? Who were the top two, the top two to start the race off. And Verstappen, as you saw there in the first image, Verstappen already went to the inside off the line. So Lando Norris had to do on the outside in the second picture on your top right. And then obviously in the third picture, you see Lando Norris can see a dap. He can see a dap, so he does for the dap. While Verstappen's on the outside of Norris. And then you see Verstappen. Apparently, Max Verstappen was sliding about. Apparently, well, that according to him, anyways. According to him, but for me, I do feel that was a shove off the track, in my opinion, from Verstappen. But that's the thing. That's the thing about Verstappen, though. That's the thing. This is why I do rate him, though. This is why I do rate him. Why should he div a dap? Why should he? Get your elbows out, isn't it? Get your elbows out where you do all you can to win. Verstappen, like I keep saying, he has that Michael Schumacher mentality, and he has the ability of Ayrton Senna, but he has that mentality of Michael Schumacher where he don't give a shit. He don't give a shit where he will thrive. He will race ODE with you as well. So yeah, it was. Yeah, yes, we will. It was a shove. Yes, we will. It was a shove off the track. To be fair, it was basically Verstappen closing the door, wasn't it, on Lando Norris? And for me, I think Norris should be doing better, though, in my opinion. But he did. To be fair, Lando Norris did do better. Yeah, won the race, but obviously the next one was obviously the battle between Verstappen and another McLaren driver, Oscar Piastri. Obviously, Lando Norris did use Piastri's after that incident with Verstappen, Michael Piastri, who did that off to a great start, to go off to second. And then he ended up battling Verstappen. Lap 11, 57, lap 4, I think it was lap 14, lap 16, where he was battling Verstappen for, obviously, the race lead, of course, and Verstappen. And the thing about the difference between Piastri and Norris, Piastri wasn't falling for Verstappen's tricks at all, because Piastri knows how Verstappen works, and that's what happened when Piastri eventually made the move on Verstappen, which was a rare Max Verstappen mistake, wasn't it? When Max Verstappen should have really had the inside, in my opinion, but he decided to go on the outside, and for me, that helped Oscar Piastri on the inside, while Verstappen, he did break a bit, yeah, didn't he? Did break a bit, yeah, and that allowed Piastri to make the move on Verstappen, and allowed Piastri to have the key away, and Oscar Piastri pretty much dominated the Grand Prix after that, didn't he? And eased to victory. But that wasn't the end of Max Verstappen versus Lando Norris, because they both TI'd once again. Well, not TI'd, it was more racing incident once again. Once Piastri made that move on Verstappen, it put Verstappen under pressure, because Norris ended up being on Verstappen's gearbox, and once again there was an incident in turn one between the two of them where And then Verstappen had the inside line, so you don't do Verstappen that, in my opinion. He did have the inside line. That was Lando Norris's mistake, done on the outside, in my opinion, because you got no chance of taking Verstappen on the outside, because then Verstappen will just close the door, in my opinion. And to be fair to Norris, he gave Verstappen a taste of his own medicine for what happened in the opening lap, where Lando Norris, to be fair to Norris, he did have the inside line, to be fair to Norris. The problem was, he went off the track. And as you see there in the bottom picture, didn't we? Did Verstappen much space to turn into it up, did he? So and that's the thing with Lando Norris though. The thing with Lando Norris was he's learned again. He has learned from last season where he didn't do the position back. I think it was in Texas. I think it was. He gave the position back straight away to Verstappen, and if anything, that helped Lando Norris towards end of the day. Norris was in DRS wins. He has the more dominant car over Verstappen, and eventually Norris did get the move done on Verstappen, and then Norris ended up getting here as well and pulled away from Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen did end up finishing fourth in the end. I think that was down to the strategy as well. So, and obviously we had an incident on the final lap between Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton. Prix lost the final corner in terms of rest of the line. And bit naughty, very naughty from Carlos Sainz for me. Far too yet to make a dive bomb, in my opinion. Far too yet. And it's like Carlos Sainz was like one of them drivers, when you're playing online on F1, where he just purposely does puts his wheel onto your wheel just so he can get the move done. Very naughty from Carlos Sainz for me. Obviously, it didn't cost Hamilton. Hamilton still ended up staying ahead of him to the line in the end. But very naughty from Carlos Sainz, in my opinion. Unnecessary from him. And he should know better as well. Carlos Sainz should know better. Yes, you can say there is a gap there, but you even see there on the top image, Hamilton's already closing that gap. And it's just unnecessary move from Carlos Sainz. And I expected better from him as well. I did expect better from him. So, but obviously no, it's not that one, is it? It's this one. These were the results then, obviously in the sprint and obviously in the main race. But we'll go to the main race results first. Piastri, Norris, another dominant race weekend from McLaren. I don't know how many times we're going to say that this season. I think we need to say now it is a McLaren title race. Yes, we will. And the constructors is already sealed for them already, in my opinion. I think it's a McLaren battle in the Drivers' Championship between Piastri and Norris, because I just don't think Verstappen has the car really to really take it to the final race of the season. He'd be in it, Verstappen. He will be mathematically in it, but and this is the thing about Verstappen, he will win races still, even in that Red Bull car, and that's down to Max Verstappen for me. His driving ability. He doesn't have. He has the fourth quickest car done into the season, and he won in Suzuka, and he still qualified on pole for this race, by the way, as well. So that's down to his driving ability. I think this season, unfortunately for Verstappen, he will no longer be champion, in my opinion. If he does still go on to win it, then everyone else should fold, in my opinion. Everyone else should have a hard look at themselves, in my opinion. And if Verstappen does win it, he deserves even more respect and credit. I think Verstappen deserves credit anyways, because 3 of his title wins, he's not really had the car. Let's be real. Apart from 2023, we can always say he had the dominant car. Okay, first half of 2024, last season as well, he had the car. Until McLaren and Adrian Newey obviously got Red Bull, and that had a massive effect on Red Bull's pace. But 2021, he didn't have the car. 2022, he didn't have the car. 2022, Ferrari were the best team prepared done into the 2022 season and had the best car done into the season. But same old Ferrari made the fuck ups, didn't they? Not Verstappen's fault. And 2021, everyone expected Mercedes to win. Let's be real. And I'm not going back to 2021 then about what happened in Abu Dhabi. I've already made my opinions clear that Hamilton should have pitted earlier, shouldn't they? Should have pitted earlier. And the dame's the dame. Red Bull took advantage. The dame's the dame, in my opinion. So that's what I will say on that. But yeah, McLaren, another dominant race weekend. Can't say anything else. It's just a rocket ship, isn't it? That McLaren car. Don't know how anyone can really compete with them this season, will you? Next season will be different. New regulations and Mercedes apparently have got a step beyond everyone, according to the 2026 regulation lawyers, apparently. So that's interesting. Talking of Mercedes, George Russell, great race for him. Despite he wasn't in the top three at the start of the race, he got himself another podium. So a good race from Russell. To be fair, especially when he started on the hard compound tyre, it didn't really go well for him at the start, but in the end, it actually helped him. In the end, Antonelli just was again. Kimi Antonelli just wasn't to be for him this weekend. Qualified on pole for the sprint. Had a racing incident with Piastri into turn one, where Piastri, he did have the inside line, let's be real. He was ahead at the apex. And Antonelli obviously lost positions as well, similar to Norris in that sprint race. Antonelli qualified third, didn't he, for the actual race? And then, to be fair, he was second, wasn't he? He was second when Verstappen and Norris incident happened, and Norris lost positions. And then, probably down to strategy for Antonelli and the pit stops. He did use a couple of seconds in the pit lane, Antonelli, as well, which might have cost him as well. So, but at the end of the day, it's still good points from Mercedes this weekend. And I think they're second in the constructors as well. So yeah, second place is up for grabs for Mercedes and constructors as well. It's up for grabs for them because Ferrari does not live up to expectation this season, and Red Bull is just way out of Max Verstappen where he has been real. Because Yuki Tsunoda's is not Verstappen's level, unfortunately for him, and not even at Perez's level. Yes, be real. When Perez was good at Red Bull to start off with, so yeah. But for me, yeah, good points for Mercedes. Red Bull, Verstappen 4th, Tsunoda 10th. It's points for Red Bull. Verstappen did his best for me. I think Verstappen did his best with the tyre he's got. He was competing still competing with the two McLarens. Then his elbows out was his typical Max Verstappen, but in the end, the dominance of McLaren, the dominance of that car was just too much for Verstappen to deal with for me. To try and hold them off. Great weekend for Williams. Albon in 5th, Sainz in 9th. As much Sainz was a bit naughty in that, dive bomb hounds in the final corner, the final lap. As Albon, great weekend for him in finishing in 5th place. We did see Williams constantly storing points this season, isn't it? We did see. It was expected as well. It was expected. And this is Williams, by the way. This is Williams preparing for the regulations for next season as well. And what the hell is their car done behind for next season's regulations? That's a scary thought as well, where they could actually be competing, for the podium next season. This is quite a scary thought, in my opinion. It's good to see Williams on the up as well. A good driver line up as well with Albon and Sainz. Both of them had a bit of a race with each other as well, didn't they? So, where I think Sainz had to dip the position back to Albon, where Sainz was obviously off the track. And then now we come on to and then we now come on to the Ferrari disaster chats. Another challenge show from Ferrari where there was Fritz and then on the team radio between Hamilton and the team. Well, Charles Leclerc even had Fritz on the team as well, where both of them swapped positions twice in the race. When the swap positions, when Hamilton eventually got ahead of Leclerc and Leclerc let him by, that was 3 laps too late for me. 3 laps too late when they were chasing down Kimi Antonelli. 3 laps too late. If they would have done it earlier, I think Hamilton would have caught Antonelli, in my opinion. And that's why it was Fritzen for me between Hamilton and the team. And then, and once they made that move, Hamilton wasn't catching Antonelli, and all of a sudden Charles Leclerc was quitting Hamilton. That's because Hamilton was burning his tyres off. And you know what? And by the way, I'm defending Hamilton. And people say I don't defend Hamilton. People say I'm bitter towards Hamilton about his honours. He's not in F1. No, I'm just telling the truth about Hamilton, that he has had the car, let's be real, to win them world titles. In my opinion. But that's a different conversation. I'm not done back in. I'm not done back into that debate once then. And I have to defend Hamilton on this. I do. Should have let him buy earlier. In my opinion. So, and this is what I'm saying. Charles Leclerc has an ego of being a bridesmaid. What has he ever done in F1? Oh wow, he's won a few races. Wow, congratulations. 2022 was his year to win the world title, and he failed. And he failed miserably. Lewis Hamilton has an ego of a 7-time world champion, and for me, yeah, Hamilton should be priority at Ferrari. He's a 7-time world champion. What's Charles Leclerc done to be priority? What? Just because he's a golden boy? Oh, what a good boy you are for helping make a cup of tea and all that. This is why I said start the season, don't overhype Ferrari, because it's done with Fritzen, let's be real. We saw it with Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel. We saw it with Fernando Alonso when he was at Ferrari, where I think he was with Felipe Massa, I think it was. Obviously, it wasn't the same Felipe Massa, was it? Let's be real, it wasn't the same Felipe Massa back then. After he had that horrific injury, it just wasn't the same driver after that. But that's what I'm saying. Ferrari are just abysmal as a team. It's just a hard class of a team, Ferrari, where the strategy is just abysmal. The strategy is abysmal. They have no clue what they're doing with the strategy. Awful team members all around, awful mechanics as well. Well, I wouldn't really blame the mechanics. I think the mechanics have been okay on the pit stops, to be fair. More engineers for me. And it's just abysmal team members at Ferrari, and that's why they've always been a car class for me. That's why they've not won a Drivers' Championship since 2007. Shout out to Kimi Raikkonen, by the way. Kimi Raikkonen, what a legend he is. What a legend he is. He should be team principal at Ferrari. He'd be going mental, man, at Ferrari. Kimi Raikkonen was just not nonsense as a driver, let's be real. The only serious driver at Ferrari, let's be real. I mean, Alonso was a serious driver, Vettel was a serious driver, but Ferrari were already a car class by then. So it's been happening for decades at Ferrari, let's be real. And Ferrari's last Constructors' Championship was 2008 as well, where probably that season Felipe Massa was robbed in Singapore, but at the end of the day, I still give Hamilton credit for winning that title in that shit McLaren as well. And this is what I'm saying about Ferrari, yeah. And also, you add the newest Hamilton, then his retirement pension of Ferrari as well. Hamilton's what? He's done, people. He's done. I've said this since after 2021. That mentality to use a title, to use the 8th world title like that, as well. It would have been a mentality blow to Hamilton, and he's never been the same since. And also, having the new radiations not suited Hamilton. The new radiations, these current radiations have suited the eyes of Verstappen. The basically drivers that do the simulators, like Verstappen, Antonelli, Leclerc, Piastri, Russell, they all do simulators, don't they? And Lando Norris as well. So Hamilton was never going to be good in these radiations. And I don't know what's going to happen with the next radiations. Will Hamilton suit them radiations? Potentially, maybe. But he's getting old. Hamilton's getting old now. And the decline of Hamilton is there to be seen. There to be seen. He's no longer a title winning driver. He may win the he may win like a race in and there. Like he did with the China sprint race. Yeah, cool story. But let's be real, sprints don't really matter unless it's near the end of the season, where every point might count if you're a chance for the Drivers' Championship. That sprint race ain't going to matter to Lewis Hamilton because Ferrari is just far off. And it don't help when you're paying Lewis Hamilton ridiculous wages as well, because paying his retirement pension as well, where that's just going to affect the development and the improvement of the car, in my opinion, as well. It's there to be seen. 2022 to 2024 at Mercedes, no wonder Mercedes were far off when you're paying ridiculous money to Lewis Hamilton as well. And of course, Lewis Hamilton's obviously wages is going to increase after the success he's had in Formula 1. It's always going to happen, of course. But that's the thing with Red Bull now. Red Bull going to have a bit of problem with Verstappen as well. Because I don't think they can afford to keep paying Verstappen's wages. This is why I think Aston Martin will come in for Verstappen. Especially when Aston Martin have got a Saudi investment interested in Aston Martin as well. So that can easily pay off Verstappen and invest in the car. And also you got Adrian Newey doing the car as well for 2026. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think Verstappen's nailed on for Aston Martin, especially if Aston Martin did that Saudi investment as well. He's only nailed on for Aston Martin for me. Can't see him Mercedes. I know there was rumours of George Russell talking to Red Bull. Well, I don't see that happening now. After Red Bull made a protest after the race against George Russell for yellow flag infringement, which was ultimately rejected by the stewards after the investigation. So we don't see that happening. Russell and Red Bull, just because that Mercedes Red Bull rivalry as well. So I think Russell's probably staying at Mercedes, to be fair, along with Antonelli. I think that's a solid partnership to have as well, especially when they're going to be one step beyond everyone else in 2026 apparently as well, with the radiations. And but yeah, for me, that's what I'm saying about Ferrari. There will just always be a car class for me. Always be a car class. People say, oh, but they finished second that season. Who cares? First user, simple. First user, simple as that. Ferrari's supposed to be the poster boys of Formula 1. They've been abysmal as the poster boys of Formula 1. What, not having the Drivers' Championship since 2007? Not having a Constructors' Championship since 2008? Yeah, they haven't stopped. They haven't stopped, mate. It's been a circuit. I was even playing the circus music during that Formula 3 last night. With the back and forward on the team radios. I think the team principal's a joke as well. I really do. No wonder he was team principal Sauber. What are we doing here? There will always be a mess, Ferrari. There will always be a mess. And the fact that a Williams car has principal for both Ferrari drivers, I think that's a joke as well. That's a joke as well. Especially when Williams are preparing for radiations for next season as well. They're laughing stuff. They really are laughing stuff, Ferrari. So And obviously Tsunoda got the last point. Hadja, Ocon, Dazi, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Stroll all missed out on points. Liam Lawson, David Bossetto, Oi Berman, and Jack Doohan all had retirements. And on Jack Doohan, for me, he is now getting closer to using his seat. Inevitably getting closer to using his seat now to Octavio's Franco Pinto, which I brought the use on start of the season, before the season as well. So that's probably them that nailed on for the next week, for the next race, or even the race after, in my opinion. So, and obviously the sprint race, Lando Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, Russell, Stroll, Tsunoda, Antonelli, and Dadsey all scored points in the sprint race. Max Verstappen was given a harsh penalty for the sprint race as well, where his mechanics were curious. And he sent Max Verstappen out into Kimi Antonelli basically, and Kimi Antonelli had to go around the track again and avoid hitting his own mechanics, and that's what probably cost Antonelli his sprint race as well. Along with the racing incident with Piastri in the sprint race as well for Antonelli. But for me, I don't. 10-second penalty for Verstappen is very, very harsh for me. Even the Verstappen haters are even defending Verstappen on that. That's the team's fault for me. That's the mechanic's fault for not looking behind you with a car coming by. So I'm shocked Verstappen didn't protest that, to be fair. I'm shocked Verstappen didn't protest that for me. It's a very harsh penalty. I think they need to look into that, the FIA. They need to look into that, like, in terms of what happens if that happens. I think the team needs to be fined for me. I don't think Verstappen should be doing a penalty for me. I think the team needs to be fined because it's the team's fault for me. It's the mechanic's fault, if anything. They should have more awareness. And Charles Leclerc, obviously, before the sprint race, crashing into the wall. This sums up Ferrari. This sums up Ferrari, doesn't it? In the end, doesn't it? This sums them up as a team. Alonso obviously spun as well. Tied with the wall, and Carlos Sainz obviously he retired as well from the sprint race as well. So what does it mean then for the Triumph Championship? Also, Piastri has a 16-point lead over the teammate Lando Norris. Max Verstappen's in third with 99. So it's pretty much a battle for third between Verstappen and Russell. Leclerc in fifth, Antonelli sixth, Hamilton seventh, Albon eighth, Ocon ninth, Stroll 10th, Tsunoda 11th, Dadsey, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Berman, and Hadja have all scored points. Alonso, Lawson, Doohan, and Borgetto are still yet to score points this season, Formula 1. And Jack Doohan's most likely not done score points in Formula 1 this season because he's probably done that. He's now very, very close to getting replaced by Franco Pinto, of course. The Constructors' Championship, look at that lead from McLaren. McLaren already got a 105-point lead over Mercedes. Red Bull in third above Ferrari. That's more of a kick in the shins for Ferrari that they have a better car than Red Bull, and still Red Bull is still above Ferrari. Mercedes in second, obviously Williams in fifth, Haas in sixth, Aston Martin seventh, Racing Bulls eighth, Alpine ninth, and Sauber 10th. So all teams have actually scored points already in F1 this season as well. So that is that for me. That is that for the Miami Grand Prix review. And we'll be back for the Imola Grand Prix preview, which will be out next. When will it be out? It'll be out sometime this week because I had to do it a week early. So we head to Imola next. It's 3 race wins in a row now for Oscar Piastri as he eases to victory. Has a 16-point lead over his closest challenger and teammate Lando Norris in this Drivers' Championship. Still a long way to go in both Drivers' Championship and Constructors' Championship, but at the moment it's looking like one-way traffic from McLaren, and it's looking like a McLaren Drivers' Championship title race. So feel free to leave your thoughts down below on everything that I spoke about, as Oscar Piastri eases the victory in Miami. It's 3 race wins now in the war for the championship lead, Oscar Piastri, and now 4 race wins this season for Oscar Piastri, who's now become the man to beat at the moment.